Parallel frequencies, Just Blane and Coco here. Happy New Year, Coco.
2026.
I wish I had one of the little blowers. The
This
budget,
is my new voice. This is how I talk now into this. I'm just kidding.
the budget for the show is actually too low to allow me to have one of those noise blowers. But what did you do for New Year's? What'd you get out? What'd you get into?
I'm so lame this year. I mean, we've had years where we did, do you remember when we did the whole New Year's Eve at the break here locally, and you did the DJing and there was comedy show and dancing, and that was me partying. That was me getting out and doing something. And this year I did puzzles
Yeah.
until the kids finally, we got to count down midnight, and we did woohoo, and we banged pots and pans on the porch, and then went right to bed.
That was you? That was you guys making all that noise?
Bing, 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 bing.
Man, I heard that all over. And for a place that we live that's not supposed to have fireworks, there sure were a lot of fucking bombs going off in the middle of night. It was crazy around here.
People do it.
I feel like we was in war or something out there. Like I was ducking down when the bombs were hitting. Like it was crazy out there.
Yeah. Usually my kids are asleep. They have not stayed up till midnight before. This was like the first year my youngest were old enough to actually stay up till midnight. They thought they were so special.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, me and my husband felt like we had a hangover the next day, and we didn't drink anything.
That's why.
We drank tea, and the next day we were like,
what was in that tea?
Faces are melting off.
Was it some special mushrooms in that tea or anything, or was it just straight up?
Nothing, straight as an arrow, and we were just like, I'm old and tired.
Well, you know what it was? We partied so hard to bring in 2025 that it reminded me, stay my ass at home.
Yeah.
On New Year's. So, but you know what? Me and Lindsay got a treat. Her parents, my in-laws, their kids' grandparents, they said, you know what? We'll come watch the kids. We'll come, and you and Lindsay can go do something. So we got to sit around and look at each other and think, well, what are we going to do? Like,
we forgot who we are.
I don't even know what to do out there. But you know what we ended up doing was we went to Dreamscape.
There.
I loved it. I didn't expect that. We were in the one here. I think they got them all over, but we were in downtown Salt Lake City. This place is like incredible. All this junk in there, literally, and I'm saying that in a nice way, but all the junk is trash. And they've made these crazy, oh my God, it's literally a dreamscape. Let me tell you this. I did have an edible or three before I got in there. Lindsay was driving. Don't come at me, all right? She's clean. She's sober.
It's the best way to do it. I won't say it's from experience. I'm keeping my lips sealed on that, but definitely is the way to experience the dreamscape.
It was wild, but I was not expecting this. Now they had like these crazy hidden tunnels. They had one of my favorite parts was and I'm gonna build one in my house, I think, but it was the pillow fort they built off the wall. I don't know if you remember that part. It was in the little center room. Whew, I can't wait to build me one of them in the theater room. Put me a little old Nintendo in there. Get to gaming. Man.
I know. All those spaces I went to, it reminds me of the Contemporary Museum of Contemporary Art. I can't remember. In Scottsdale, Arizona. And there was this room that they had tucked behind another exhibit. You had to like weasel your way into it, but it was an entire room, just mirrors, ceiling and floor, all were mirrors. And they had these strings of LED lights, these like twinkly little starlights hanging so that the mirrors made it look infinite. Like you had just stepped into a galaxy and you were just floating in outer space. And I remember having this feeling like, I want a space like this in my house where I just sit in it and meditate and just float in outer space forever.
Right? I think me and Lindsay did go through a couple of the places in Dreamscape and we're like, you know what? This is what Courtney would want in her house right here. We did.
Hence the cave, right? This is where I record every time is this cave.
We literally were picking out the rooms and stuff that you would like. And there was a tarot room in there. We liked that one. There was all kinds of stuff. We were like, yeah, Courtney would dig this. I don't know if it was the edible that hit. I was happy in there. I don't know if it was me knowing what, because me and Lindsay were by ourselves, and I didn't know if it was me knowing what was going to happen later that night. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Mexican food. That's what I was hyped up about. And Stranger Things. You hear me? Because that's
Yep.
what happened on our New Year's Eve. Dreamscape and edible, and we got to eat some delicious Mexican food. I love Mexican food. I love Mexican food on New Year's Eve. I don't know why. It's fun. Maybe it's a tradition me and Lindsay had. But then I don't know if everybody was like this, but this is the first year that I wasn't getting a bunch of texts, Happy New Year. I didn't hear anybody saying, hey, we're going out tonight. You want to go out? I don't know if it's because I don't have any friends anymore, or I do know why it happened. Everybody I knew was locked in on Stranger Things before midnight.
Yeah. That's
So
what we were doing.
I want to
We
know.
were puzzles and catching up on shows and Stranger Things for sure.
So we got the night out. So I want to know if anybody else out there did this. Went to dinner and then snuck back in the house quietly so the kids didn't hear you and go downstairs and watch Stranger Things finale. Because that's what me and Lindsay did. We went and watched it. We snuck back into our own house so the kids didn't know we were here so we'd get 2 hours to watch that finale. I can't be the only one. You know what? I wonder how many lives got saved. I mean, this legit. How many lives got saved because they didn't go out? Because they were sitting at home watching Stranger Things. Midnight hit and we were in the middle of the episode. I'm like, I don't care. I don't give a crap.
Yeah.
Vecna's on the screen. Like I don't care about what's going on at midnight, you know? Like
Yeah, yeah.
It was awesome. It was an experience.
Thank you, Stranger Things.
You caught up,
For
you're
all
good?
Saved.
Yeah, did you watch it all? You're good?
Yep, all caught up. Ready to do our episode on the recap of season 5 when we get to that one. So
Yeah.
stay
And
tuned for that. We're ready.
we're gonna get in it. We'll get to that. We'll get to that probably next week because we're at the new year. We got some other stuff we gotta attend to first. You know what? It is the new year. Do you have a deck of tarot cards right there with you?
Always. When do I know?
Cool.
Deck of tarot cards within reach. I have the
It's
good
like-
tarot with me
It's like
today.
one of those moments that like I could have planned and set it up and be like, hey, you make sure you got the tarot cards on standby. But I knew I didn't have to because you were gonna have them.
don't.
But you know what I think we should do is a tarot card draw for our show here, Parallel Frequencies, for the year of 2026. What are we looking at? What do we got to look forward to? Is the show gonna burn out? Is it gonna bomb? What's gonna happen? We getting death? Or are we gonna just tell us here, Courtney? Coco,
You know what I love to do, and for those of you who follow me on social media, Prism Healing or even the Practically Magic podcast Instagram, I love to do a what's in, what's out tarot reading for the year. So I've kind of pulled just a couple of cards here for us, for our show specifically. What is in, what's out, and yeah, it's interesting. So I'm just doing kind of a mini one here. I just have the three cards, which makes 6 total because we're going to do what's in, what's out for 3 different cards. What's out this year for us? Winged creatures.
Okay,
Winged angel creatures.
Let me write this down. Let me write this down here in my little black book here.
Yeah.
Not one of those
But
kinds. Not one of those.
the Hierophant card being the one that I pulled here. It tells me that other people telling us what to do with our show is out.
Out. Get out of here. Don't tell me
We're the
what to do.
bosses. We work for ourselves, so we're not looking to a higher authority figure to tell us what we should or shouldn't do with our show. We'll do what we want, basically. So get ready for that, friends. If you're just jumping in as a fan, you're kicking it off with the right people at the right time, because we're like, no guardrails here.
Until the DMCA notices get hit. No, we don't use third-party content. Or until Joe Bob Briggs sends me a cease and desist for stealing his gimmick. It's one of those. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, flattery versus impression. You could take it both ways, I think. But what we're not going to do, what else is out, is self-doubt. The 7 of water comes up, sitting there thinking about how we feel about things, and like, do we feel this way? Do we feel that way about things? That's out. So we're not going to do that. Other than when we talk about shows that we're going to be talking about, because there's a lot of how we feel about those shows.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's definitely going to be in. And writing on panda bears, it's out. They are
That's out.
they're not to be used for writing on people. These are holy, sacred animals, and they need to be treated as such. Stop writing on them like horses. Don't do that. It's out.
Got it.
Hey, guess what's in?
What's in?
Winged creatures like angels are back in.
Oh, they're back in it. Okay, so now people can't tell us what to do. Is that what? Wait a minute.
No, just the winged creatures. So here's the best part about this. This one means we're the ones who make the decisions and we get to fly.
Yes.
That's what this means. Okay. So 9 of air is the tarot card for those who are tarot fanatics and know what that means. 9 of air, we make the decisions. We are going nowhere but up. There is no stopping us now, and we have wings. So there's that. This is also in making choices with money.
Oh.
You know, like having a split, like this or that with money.
All right.
And what I interpret this card as is playful energy. So this is playful energy. That's in. Last one, pearls are in.
Oh.
We like pearls. We like pearl energy. So this is actually letting ourselves be rubbed a little raw in our feelings, in our feels. So like things kind of like rubbing, like sand rubs on a pearl to create that beautiful pearl surface that they have. It requires a lot of rubbing sand. So there's going to be some sticky points this year that's going to make us feel about it. But all in all, it's going to be a good thing because it creates pearls, right?
I love that.
Pearls of wisdom. That's what's in and out for parallel frequencies this year.
I love this. So we got our own 2026. We're going to look back at this at the end of the year, and we're going to see if the winged creatures were out and in. We're going to see if
in different ways.
Yeah, right. And self-doubt is going to be gone. That's out. We were talking about that before we even started recording today.
No, that's before I pulled any card too.
Yeah,
Crazy.
we were talking about that, and we're going to really dive into that. You mentioned it. We're going to dive into that when we talk about Ted Lasso. Because that's one of your favorite shows. We're going to get to that later this year.
That's on the list this year. Yep. We're doing it.
It's crazy to say this year. Is it, though? I'm not sure. I feel like...
Well, here's what I have to say. I need people to go listen to what we're talking about on Practically Magic as well. Because we talk a lot about stuff that I bring up there because the shows and the things that we're watching they're gonna hit spiritual, ethical...
Yes.
You know, political, they're going to hit all these things. But in Practically Magic, I'm going to talk a little bit more about how seasonal cycles affect us and our healing and our power and how we manifest. And I just have to say one thing to everybody listening. New Year's is not the time to start new things, guys. New Year's resolutions, not the thing. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Seasonally, it's not actually congruent with what our bodies and what the seasons are doing. So don't go all gung-ho on, I'm going to lose the weight, I'm going to make the money, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. It's okay to have it be a slow burn into spring, okay?
I like it. You know what I mean? And I love the slow burns. Yeah. Let me ask you something real quick. Let me ask you something about a slow burn in movies and all that. You ever watched a movie where nobody leaves the room? But somehow you feel like you've traveled emotionally, spiritually, maybe even illegally. Like, you know, like, have you ever seen that? Something like that?
Ooh, that's a good question. I would have to look back on some of the... Yeah, there's been some great movies where they've done a lot with so little, right?
Yeah.
Like as far as production, they're just like, we're doing this entire movie in this one space.
We mentioned this a couple weeks back, and these are my favorite types of movies, I realized, without even knowing it, is the ones at dinner scenes or literally locked in a room. I even thought about one I didn't even think about until I was thinking about this. Cube. There's a movie called Cube, and these people, 8 people or something, wake up in a cube, and they don't know how they got there. There's There's 4 of those movies now about this, but they get locked in a cube and they're going through and there's booby traps everywhere and they got to figure out how to get through. There's codes on the wall. That's a fun one to watch. But there are tons of movies out there that I started thinking about that were dinner. You're just sitting at dinner and we watch it for 2 hours and we're like, whoa, I just sat through a dinner scene, you know? Like,
Yep.
what do you got? What comes to mind for you?
Ooh, the first one that came to my mind when you said that, and it wasn't the whole movie, but the dinner scene in this movie is so powerful and long. Like it's almost a complete thing all on its own, is August Osage County. The Meryl Streep,
Okay.
Julia Roberts. I've seen it pulled and replayed so many times in so many different places because it's so epic. The emotional, you can cut it. It's so thick with a knife. Basically, the patriarch of the family has just died and the family is all gathering together. Meryl Streep is kind of this drunk mess of a mom. And she starts ranting. The monologues that she gets in that scene, fantastic and so raw and powerful.
One of the ones that pops in my head is is classic. I got to talk about it off the top. It's My Dinner with Andre. 2 dudes, 1 table, deep thoughts. They laid the groundwork for what was going to come in these types of movies later, you know? It was the movie that really said the plot is optional and the vibes are mandatory. Most people, they turn it off in 12 minutes. That's about it. Or they watch the whole thing and they love it. So, but I did have to mention that one. I don't know if you've ever seen that. It's a little older probably.
Yeah, it's been a minute. That's one I have to go back and revisit. But it does make me think about how much that maybe inspired so many different scenes that, or even movies where they're like, we're going to have the entire movie set as a dialogue between 2 people. And there isn't one coming to my mind at the moment, but I'm thinking there is probably so many movies where that was the premise. Like that's where they wrap the whole movie in, and they might have done flashbacks and they might have done, things, but it's the entire movie is set as these 2 people having a dialogue.
Yeah. And that's incredible because low budget, but big stakes. Like, and that's the thing too. It's a gamble. Like you're going to either get a huge payoff, but not everybody is going to like these types of films. Not everybody likes My Dinner with Andre, yet it's probably one of the better movies out there ever, but
definitely
12 minutes
mentioned a lot,
people are like, most people, lots of people, I don't want to say most, I don't want to, assume, but most people, a lot of people will tune out in 12 minutes. They're bored to death. They're done with it. I just caught a movie the other night on, I think it's on Peacock, maybe on Amazon Prime, called The Invitation. You might have seen the poster for it. It's a recent movie, last couple of years. It's this weird dinner party. They all get together, and immediately you're like, man, something's off here. Like, something's not right. You feel like you want to leave, like, when you're watching this movie. I enjoyed it, though.
Okay. Putting it on my list.
Everybody's kind of smiling, like you've been handed a cult pamphlet, one of those kind of situations. It has the most awkward pauses in a movie. Like, this movie weaponizes awkward pauses to the audience. It's wild. I watched it in one sitting. Best way to watch it. But yeah, The Invitation. It's out there. I believe I saw it on Peacock the other night.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to put that one on my list. Definitely. As you were talking, there's a movie that I did not put on dinner scenes list, but I just watched it. So I think it needs to be added on there. And it's kind of going along with the theme of we're wrapping up a lot of Christmas movies. We're wrapping up a lot of like those family dinner scenes. A lot of them are holiday movies because you've got family gathering for the holidays. I just watched Helen Mirren and Tony Collette, our buddy, our friend. We gave the Oscar to in Goodbye June that came out last year. It's now on one of the streaming. But it basically centers, and as you talk about like an entire movie happening in one space, essentially the whole movie does take place in June's hospital room as she's dying. She's a mom with cancer, and so you have Kate Winslet playing her daughter, Toni Collette's playing her daughter. They're all kind of gathering right around Christmas time. They don't know if she's even going to make it to Christmas.
Mm.
She's rapidly, her health is rapidly declining, so they get to like be front row seats to her death. They're kind of dealing with family dynamics the whole time, but the movie ends with a family dinner 18 months after her death.
Mm.
And so like, where are they now, kind of a thing? Like, how did this family end up resolving a lot of their things together, and what is this family like after this loss? And it's a beautiful movie. But we're talking about like, you were talking about The Invitation. A lot of things about death this year. Did you feel like? I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of the movies and stuff were centered around someone dying, or the facing of death, or grief, or loss. So
Even the ones we talked about, like The Family Stone, was basically the same plot line you just talked about right there, but it was Diane Keaton
yes, and
dying,
everyone finding out she was dying and won't be there next Christmas for sure.
and then we
Yes,
see next Christmas. We see
same
the
idea.
next Christmas. They take us to the next Christmas. You know, yeah. So that's crazy that it's right in line
Very
with each other.
similar. Yeah. Well, speaking of Toni Collette and dinner
Yeah.
scenes, what
Mm.
about the movie we talked about and which movie project, Hereditary?
Yes.
You remember that dinner scene?
Oh, I do. I do. Just the feeling of dread and terror as A24 and Toni Collette in A24 movies can give
Oof.
you. It was
The
chilling.
grief, the grief from her losing her daughter, and then that grief kind of turning into a monstrous sort of really uncomfortable rant. That reminded me of Meryl Streep's character too in Osage County, which is like, you know, dinner table scene where mom is gonna lay it all out. She's gonna tell the truth, and you are
Yeah.
not gonna like it.
I mean, the A24's formula, if you really think about it right here, elevated horror, whatever the hell elevated horror is, but that's the genre it's going for, and it does play off of grief, real emotions. Look at the movie Heretic. Heretic was in one room. It was in a house, and it was the same A24, and it had almost a dinner scene. I don't think he was even baking the blueberry pie. It was a candle, and it was
Yeah,
a
I
whole
don't know if
thing
you
about,
found it,
yeah,
but
like, but
definitely that vibe. And elevated, meaning that it's a horror that's also tapping into like real world emotions, real
yes,
world debates. You know, the idea of like religion, is it, what's the true religion? How do these girls feel? So like elevated to like, we're not just scaring people, we're making them think, and we're making them
yeah.
feel.
It
Incredible.
so here's the thing too. It's hard to make people scared of ghosts who don't believe in ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
So those movies don't scare them. But you give them something that affects everybody. Grief, guilt, all these things, all these kind of emotions that have negative connotations to them. You make them feel that,
Yeah,
and that's
that's
a whole
real.
different kind of terrified, you know? Like it's like, "Oh my gosh, I feel that." Because a lot of this stuff they do in the A24 movies or the elevated horror movies is feed off of that feeling of grief. If they put a car crash in a scene and people die, there's a lot of people out there that affects.
Yes.
A lot of people have lost people that way. So they're tapping into a wider
Yes.
net maybe for horror because it does affect everybody. Not everybody's got the heaven and hell belief, so they don't care about the Exorcist movies because that's such a big joke to them anyway. You know, so there's stuff out there that will touch everybody. I just don't like it being called elevated horror. I don't know. I think it's just horror.
It's for the elevated cultural people, is what that means, I think. But you know, in speaking of that, things that are real threats, one of the other dinner scenes I put on my list of like looking back at all the famous dinner scenes in movies, one that came to mind, one of my favorite movies of all time, is American History X.
Whoo! That's a
Do you
banger there.
remember the dinner scene with his dad? And it was kind of a flashback. Edward Norton. I mean,
Yes.
you see a character and his family and how they've been affected by basically adopting Nazi racist views of the world, and how that has affected their family. How has it affected them, their friends, their neighborhood, all of that.
Yeah.
And you see all of that, and it's easy to watch the movie and be like, oh, look how awful that is, how horrible that is. I would never be like that. I'm not racist. And then when you get to that flashback scene where he's talking to his dad, and his dad is basically just introducing the idea of like, is the DEI programs really that fair?
Yeah.
And like, if they hire a guy just because he happens to be black and I'm better for the job, is that really fair? I mean, he's just planting these little racist seeds, showing that it's not about whether you're racist or not. It's that potentially we live in a racist world, and that we are all affected by it and can be affected by it. And so like, when you talk about being scared or like what's a real threat, that dinner scene came to my mind. It's not a horror film, but it's definitely one that's elevated.
It's very tense. Like that's
Yeah.
a great point. Like it doesn't have to be a horror movie. A lot of these aren't that we talked about, like holiday movies. But then again, losing your mom and all that, that's a horror. You know, that's
Yeah,
scary.
definitely
You don't wanna do
reality
that.
for a lot of people. That's what they're
Yeah.
going through, especially at the holidays. They're sitting around a family, and I mean, just sitting around and confronting family, just being around your family. When are we most likely to be the most triggered by all of our
Yes.
negative feelings and emotions?
Absolutely.
We can love
I
our
got
family to death and still be triggered by what comes up at a family dinner.
yeah. I got one more I want to get to, but before I do, I got to hear yours because this will be the last one.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, give me one more, and then I got one.
Okay, I'll give you my favorite. So we're moving
Okay.
from horror to intense to humorous here.
Okay.
With my
Okay.
favorite dinner scenes, and there's more than one in this movie, it's Edward Scissorhands.
Oh my God, I forgot about that one.
Edward, like, eating the peas with his little scissor blades. It gets me every time. It's emotional because I have this like, oh, I want to help him so much. I just want to help. He's like trying so hard, and you just want to help him, and you hate it when people are kind of like, ew, like, what is he doing?
Yeah.
And they kind of treat him bad. But my favorite thing about these scenes, my top favorite thing, is the dad, Ed, because there are scenes where they're sitting around having dinner and they're having conversations, and it's like the dad is having a totally different conversation with whoever. He doesn't even care who's listening. He's totally talking about his own thing. When Edward comes to sit down at the table, and he's like, yeah, so that neighbor woman took all of her clothes off and showed me the salon. And everyone else just stops. Like Winona Ryder and Dan West, they're all looking, and they all just look at Edward, and the dad is just like, so that's so great. I'm so glad you're getting out there and you're doing your thing, and I'm so proud of you. And I think that is the funniest thing of all time. Favorite dinner thing.
Hilarious. Here's my last one I'm going to talk about. And I am hyped up about this one. Coherence. This is a must-watch movie. I'm not going to exaggerate. I have seen this movie over 100 times. Came out in 2013. Sci-fi, horror. I don't even want to spoil it all for you, but it's basically a dinner scene. They're at a house for a dinner party, and there's a comet overhead, and things get crazy. I'm talking about ape shit crazy enough that the first time I watched this movie, I started it immediately back over. And I can't wait. I cannot wait to dive in, because we're going to do a full episode about this movie, Coherence. You're going to have to go watch it. It's on Peacock, Amazon Prime, both of those for free if you have the subscription. And I saw that I've been watching this movie for 10 years, over 100 times. I really think that this is one of the best sci-fi movies ever made. It's got plot holes, or it's got stuff going on, but it's only caused discussion and debate, and it's all word of mouth. Like, this movie didn't get any real publicity. And
Yeah. I
you
didn't
never
hear
heard
about
of
it
it,
till
have
a
you?
long time after. Yeah.
I got an even funnier story. I was at FanX, same place. You were there too, but it was a couple years back, and I was about to interview one of the only people in existence that I knew that knew this movie was that existed. And I couldn't wait to talk to him about it. Elijah Wood was sitting there, and Elijah Wood put this list, Coherence, on a movie list on AMC or Shudder, something like that, a long time ago, as one of his. And I still don't think anybody's seen it. So I could not wait to get up to him, to shake his hand, and talk about that movie. But I knew what was going to happen. Me and him were going to probably go disappear off, rent a theater, and hold a private showing for whoever wanted to come see Coherence, so that we could talk about it. Courtney, this movie, I'm telling you, it's one of those. I mean, you see me hype up a bunch of stuff, but this one right here to me is in freaking credible. And I'm gonna tell you why we're gonna do a whole episode on it, because I can't believe this. I'm almost shaking. You saw me checking my email a minute ago. I have reached out to James Ward Burkett, the director of Coherence, and he has agreed to come on here and talk to us about the movie because he loves talking about it. He directed this movie, and he's going to come on Parallel Frequencies and talk about this. James Ward Burkett, Jim Burkett. We're going to talk about all of his other projects he's got going on too. I know he's got some Kickstarters and stuff going on. I am hyped up. I'm seriously hyped up because I'll get to ask him the questions about this movie, and I want you to go watch this movie.
Yes. What better way to deep dive? Let's get the director.
And I want to preface it by saying that sometimes no answer at all is the best answer, and that's what a lot of this movie did. So I hope he comes in and says the same type of thing. I hope he's like, you know what? It's up for debate. It's up for discussion. I don't want him to come in here and have to answer if that's not what the intention was, because some of the best movies out there leave it all up to your mind. Some people hate that stuff. They're like, oh, I just want a clear-cut ending or a clear-cut beginning, whatever it may be, and you don't get that. Jim Burkett, I'm telling you, I'm hyped up. I'm excited. We're getting the director of this movie come on with us. This is a big movie. It was an independent movie. Oscilloscope is the film company or whatever that put it out. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. But I have broke down this movie in my mind, and now we're going to actually get to talk to the director himself in the coming weeks. I don't know when it'll happen, but be on the lookout for that. That's big news. That's breaking news to you too, Courtney.
That's amazing. I was going to ask, so we're going to do some scheduling on what shows are we going to talk about on what days of the week, starting with our official launch of this show. So would you count this one as like movie from your childhood classic, or is this a deserving of its own category?
Own category probably for this. We might have to add a new category to our list, because it looks like we're going to start having some bigger name guests come in.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to turn a guest away because we're doing Just Blaine's Trailer Park, So
yeah, no, we have a lot of flexibility and a lot of things to cover, and I am excited. I think there's going to be room in our schedule for a free day where whatever we want to talk about is that day, or if we have a guest, we get to plop it into that day. So I'm excited to put this all together. It's going to be amazing.
That's a big pickup. Literally got the email directly from James himself, Jim. Maybe he goes by now. James Ward Burkett. I cannot. I'm so excited. But you know what today is? So
excited to have James.
Today we're going to do Just Blaine's Trailer Park. Just Blaine's Trailer Park coming out right now. We got a intro song now, I think. Now, I've talked about my buddy Toddy Locks in the past, and he did a show over the weekend. He's a comedian. He's retired military. I'm going to put that first. He's retired Air Force. Me and him were pro wrestlers together. He was my manager for a while. But Toddy Locks, a lot of creativity. A lot of my creativity got unlocked because this guy allowed it, Like, he was already doing it, and he kind of showed a lot of others it's okay. It's okay to be weird. We are the weirdos, mister. You know, like that's where
Pave the
we
way.
stood.
Yes.
Yeah. But let me show
Pave the
you here.
way
He
for the
did this
rest of
thing.
us.
He's in Omaha. He did this thing for Backline Comedy. And I think they got challenged to do something. And I think we're gonna use this for Just Blaine's Trailer Park's theme song. I don't know if it really goes along with it, but check this out. They rapped on top of a trash heap here. Oh, that's Tyler off there with the overalls.
You wanted us to do a rap song standing on top of a compost heap. We did it. Let's go. Green and brown, brown and green on the ground. In the scene, you need a healthy mix of everything found in between. Fruits and veggies, coffee grounds, cardboard and leaves. If you do it all correctly, then your towel won't stick. Avoid the blues and the greens. Wait a minute. Purples and pink. That's all right. Cut all that meat. Pour the milk down the sink.
Okay.
Keep your food out the landfill. Methane levels shrink. Let the earth keep circling like it's skating the ring.
I got the worms in the trench and they eating the trash. Turn garbage into gold, baby. Stacking that cash. Stop, drop, put them scraps on top. Let it rot till it cooks. Man, you ain't gonna stop. You wanna see the garden grow? Gotta feed the roots. We stomping on these piles in these Doc Martin boots.
Oh man, the sync up right there. The sync up to the boot dropping and the beat that put it over the edge for me. That's my buddy
I like
Tylox
the
right there.
camera shake too.
Yeah, you know what's even wilder about this? And I think I'm getting this right, but my buddy's real name is Todd Graves. And the other guy in this video's name is Todd Graves, I believe. Or Todd Dillon. They got the same names.
What?
Crazy. I mean, it's a common name, but that's it. That makes it even wilder that's two common names and they're both exactly the same.
Is this like a split universe kind of a thing, or is this there's something happening
I don't know.
That doesn't just happen.
I think them two guys, they need their own show. They need their own podcast. I know a guy.
Todd.
I know some people that can help him. Now let's get to
Love it.
Our first trailer. I'm gonna play this one right here.
Video games transcend reality and provide us with an experience we can only imagine. Yet many of our favorite characters are based on stories that preceded us. I'm Latham Holgren, and welcome to Pixels from the Past, where we will uncover popular video game characters' historical inspiration. Excavate the past with me as we discuss our favorite characters and how their pixels came from the past. You can find me on Apple Podcasts or anywhere you like to listen to podcasts. I'll see you in the past.
You know he's talking my language. I mean, I'm a huge video game fan. Pixels from the past.
So am I to understand that this is how current video game characters were inspired by real people from history?
That's what it seems like to me, and I think that's
okay.
A fun show, right? Like, that's a cool idea.
I'd be super into that. The history part of things, I'm all for. I'd have to learn a little bit more about the video game characters if it was me, but
maybe that'll help you. Maybe if you know more about the history than the video game people, then you would relate because they would say, "Hey, this is Genghis Khan," and you'd be like, "Oh my gosh, this guy's gonna be awful," and you find out it's, the villain from Sonic the Hedgehog, the one that Jim Carrey plays.
Yeah,
could be the same type of thing, I think that's an awesome.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by that. That would probably get me to play the video games because I would go, oh, now I've heard this whole history, and now I want to see what that looks like in the video game.
Yeah, we're gonna have to check that one out. Pixels from the past. All right, let's get to our next one right here.
It's the year 2000. A golden age of teen television is starting to dim, and a little show called Gilmore Girls hits the airwaves. Viewers meet two best friends, a young mom and her teen daughter.
You and Grandma seem to have a nice talk.
How much did you hear?
Not much, snippets. Little snippets.
So basically everything?
It wasn't exactly love at first sight. Sure, the show had fans during its 7-season run, but
people didn't necessarily come up to me as much when the show was actually on to say, oh, aren't you that person from Gilmore Girls? I don't know that many people were aware of it.
it wasn't like a lot of other shows at the time. Soapy dramas that followed teens stuck in love triangles. It was a comedy, and it followed 3 generations of women and the quirky residents of the small town they lived in, Stars Hollow, Connecticut.
How many cups have you had this morning?
None.
Plus?
5, but yours is better.
So it wasn't until Gilmore Girls hit streaming that it became a global sensation.
I'd probably fall asleep to Gilmore Girls every night.
I watch it nonstop. It's kind of like background music at our house.
I think of it as a Prozac show.
It's like visiting a friend.
Thousands of people by now have told me, like, you know, when I went through this, or I had cancer, or I had lost my mom, when I break up, your show helped me, and that is to me, wow.
Gilmore Girls shaped countless people, from the fans who can't stop watching it to the actors who starred in it.
I love when women just flat out support each other and just boost each other up and are just there for each other. I could watch that all day.
And in some ways, the show has come to define my home state, Connecticut.
This is definitely Stars Hollow. I mean, it's a lot smaller of a town, more tight-knit.
A couple years ago, my mom was like, have you ever heard of a show called The Gilmore Girls? And I'm like, yeah, Mom. It's based on the town I grew up in.
So how does a TV series that ended nearly 2 decades ago continue to resonate with new generations of fans? And what does it tell us about who we want to be as friends, parents, neighbors?
Underneath it all, the thing that is undeniable is that we love each other.
The show is very much about a community and a sense of community, and I think people are lacking that, and perhaps they're yearning for it.
I'm Chloe Wynn. This is Generation Gilmore Girls, a 3-part podcast about the TV we love and how it shapes us.
Well, Gilmore Girls changed my life, which was not supposed to be the case.
From Connecticut Public, the station that brought you Generation Barney.
It makes you feel good. It does, yeah, it does. Yeah.
Coming December 2nd. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts or at ctpublic.org/Gilmore.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. You tell me.
I guess this is the universe's sign
You
that
were
I need to
enjoying that.
start
What's up?
watching Gilmore Girls.
Did you ever?
Was fully aware of it. I know that that's where Melissa McCarthy kind of got her fame, like her start. And I'm a huge fan of her. Man, who isn't? She's amazing. I do know that there was a big boom of watching it again during COVID, and that became kind of people's lifeline. I know that it had a huge influence, maybe more so than when it was originally on. And so I'm very happy for that. And if it is as amazing as everybody says, and I've only seen scenes, I've only seen little parts, which, you know, I just felt like it was, when it was on, it was like one of those feel good WB type shows that I was not really that into and didn't give it a chance. But I have a good friend, April Cobb. I'm going to give her a shout out right now. April Cobb designs fabric. She made a locally famous Daybreak fabric that she sells at the farmer's market. So she makes, you know, tea towels and whatnot out of this fabric she designed. And she made her great mark in the world by making a Gilmore Girls fabric. And that really took off. It was very, very popular.
Well, that'd be a great sponsor for the Generation Gilmore Girls podcast here. I love that idea. I love the trailer. Great trailer. It's long, but I think all of it was necessary. It might be an extended trailer. I don't know. I loved hearing all the fandom. And I think this is a great representation of what you could do with almost any TV show out there. And a lot of them have now. They've got these rewatch. I just ran across one, Pod Meets World. It's Boy Meets World. It's Topanga, Ryder, Strong, who plays Sean, and it's Eric. They got the 3 of them on a podcast.
Yep. That's
I want them to bring me on. I want to bring them on ours, and then, you know, they bring us on theirs. That'd be fun.
Yeah. I want to talk about their shows. And I mean, well, truthfully, the very first podcast I ever listened to back when podcasts were just kind of up and coming, like just starting out, my very first one was an X-Files rewatch podcast, breaking it down one episode at a time. And it was Kumail Nanjiani's X-Files podcast. That was the first podcast I'd ever listened to. Someone knew I was a big fan of X-Files. They were like, you gotta listen to this podcast. You'll love it. He's basically just a big fan of the show and wanted to just break it down one episode at a time. So he just does, a rewatch, his thoughts and opinions, a summary. And I mean, I'm such a big fan of the show. I loved that just as much as the show.
That's incredible, yeah. I want to do that with Cheers or something. That's the one I'm looking at. We have to do like 200-something episodes. That'd be wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I got one more podcast trailer for us today. This is a special one, though, because I was getting concerned and worried, people saying AI is going to take our jobs and all that. And I just wanted to see how close we are to AI taking our jobs. And what I did was work with ChatGPT and Sora to give it a prompt, and then it spit me back out a video, okay? And I said, well, we got to do parallel frequencies. So, hello there, ChatGPT. Could you please make me a podcast trailer for parallel frequencies? This, and this is what we got.
You're listening to Parallel Frequencies.
I'm Jay.
I'm Lila, and we chase the sounds that lead to other worlds. What if a single tone could open a door?
We found out.
Because we walked through it. Join us for unexpected connections and real conversations.
Now, I don't know. We're nowhere close to losing our jobs on making stuff. Now, first of all, the biggest thing there, I think, to me is, it turned us black and changed our names. I don't know. We're ChatGPT. I'm not sure. And that's what I'm saying.
Who are these people?
That's what I was thinking. But they gave us a whole premise to a show, like hearing some sonic sound that makes it. I'm like, where'd they come up with it? I would watch this. I would actually probably watch this podcast, listen to it.
Yes.
Do
you know what I'm starting to think after I hear that? I'm starting to think if there is a code to open a portal, it would be 2 sound frequencies, like parallel frequencies. I'm starting to think that there's something to that, and it's got me a little worried.
Let's check that out again. Let's watch it again, because you got me scared now. I don't know, and I don't know what SPPDISDAY with a Spotify logo is, or that there. That's Google Play. But
You're listening to Parallel Frequencies.
I'm Jay.
I'm Lila, and we chase the sounds that lead to other worlds. What if a single tone could open a door?
We found out.
Because we walked through it. Join us for unexpected connections and real conversations.
I have a little white guilt, honestly, feeling like maybe I took their jobs. Is that a thing?
If those two people are out there, if Jay and Tina or Tara or whatever her name is out there, and they got a show called Parallel Frequencies, oh my God, Courtney, what if AI is actually just showing us the other dimension?
That's another parallel frequencies in another parallel universe.
Oh my God, what if that's what AI only is it's using other universe to show us, and that's why everything looks almost real, but something's a little bit off? Is that us in another universe, a parallel? That could be us in a parallel universe. Maybe we are African-American and named Jay and Tua or whatever it was there.
I don't know, but I like her glasses. I kind of like, maybe I should start wearing glasses.
I like that. But I don't think AI is anywhere close to taking our jobs. But maybe it is giving us a portal to another dimension to be able to see in. Because I've got all kinds of questions now.
Right. Well, if they're better at the job than me, then I apologize. I apologize for taking the position that we created ourselves, and here we are.
If that's a real show there, if Jay and Tina are doing a show called Parallel Frequencies in another parallel universe. How do we get them to be guests on our show and get on theirs? I wonder, because that would be cool to do some interdimensional. I've done a lot in podcasting and in radio. I've never done an interdimensional interview. That's what I want. I want an interdimensional interview in 2026.
Mm-hmm. With
That'd
the
be fun, right?
alternate us version or alternate podcast hosts of this podcast. Maybe that's not us, but they are the podcast hosts of this podcast in a parallel universe. So we, in that universe, are making compost heaps in some or whatever we're doing.
So you're saying that the IP parallel frequencies crosses universes, but we don't. We got a big show.
We don't know what we're doing in that universe. I don't know.
That's true.
I don't think that's me, but I think maybe it's.
I can tell you. We better stop this talk right now, because you watching Coherence and us talking to James Ward Burkett, the director, is going to be a lot similar to what you're talking about right here. So we better kick this butt. We better get on out of here and go check out those podcasts, the real ones I played for you. Go check out the Gilmore Girls, Generation Gilmore Girls, and that Pixel, what was it, The Last Pixel or whatever? That's awesome. I love that. That's it, though, for today. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Just Blane, Coco, Parallel Frequencies.